Okay, y'all, I'm going to try to make this as easy to understand as humanly possible, okay? This is the idea of multi-dimensions, dimension traveling, dimension hopping, whatever you want to call it, okay? So say this is me, okay? This is my pizza dress. Okay. And I'm happy. All right. So I want you to think, remember, if you go back a couple of videos to the quantum state, okay? We're existing in the energetic universe. You can't see any of this stuff. So as an artist, I'm trying to put a visual representation of what's going on. That way you have this kind of guideline of what kind of work we need to do. That way you can do it faster and get into your dream life a lot quicker. Okay. So I'm going to just draw these lines, and these are the quantum state, okay? This is representation of the invisible universe. You can't see any of this, okay? And I want you to think of every one of these boxes as a dimension, or a memory, or a dream, or a hope, or a desire, okay? Each one of these has their own time and place in space in the invisible universe, okay? Now, what I want to do right now is we're going to talk about doing the inner childhood therapy or childhood trauma work, okay? So I'm just going to label this childhood. Okay, this row is childhood for all intents and purposes. This is teens. This is adulthood. And this is like dreams, hopes, aspirations, whatever. Okay. So this is this row, right? Okay. When we talk about doing the inner work, each dimension of your life, each memory of your life, each reality of your life, each moment in time that you experience in your life has a vibrational emotion associated with it, okay? It could be sadness, okay? There's a memory in your childhood that might be sad. It might be jealousy, okay? It might be anger. That's an anger face. Okay, it might be fear. It might be happiness. It might be peace. Okay, or it might be love. We don't know. Okay, so in your childhood, that's what we're trying to understand is what memory, what energetic emotional frequency is associated with each memory, right? And when we do the healing work, we're going to basically, and this is as easy as I can make this, we are going to do the transmutation work, okay, to turn it into pure unconditional love for ourselves. And that's it. You just have to move through every dimension, do the transmutation work, turn it into love. Turn the anger into love. Turn the fear into love. Turn the happiness into pure unconditional love. Turn the peace into love. Turn the love into more love, okay? So why we need to come into emotional awareness and emotional intelligence as we're doing the inner childhood trauma work is we need to understand what emotion that is. We need to figure out what emotion this is. We have to figure out what that emotion is, and then we have to do the work to raise the vibe of that individual dimension. So it is very possible, let's say you experienced jealousy in somewhere in your teenage years, right? You may not be able, if you unlock this dimension, if you go back into this dimension, if you explore it, you might feel jealousy. You have to feel through it. You may not be able to get it to pure unconditional love. You may only be able to transmute it into peace. Okay? Maybe that's as far as you can go. Then you walk out of that dimension and you go into the other dimensions of your life. Maybe it's the present moment. Okay, maybe you're here in the present moment. And then time passes You do a bunch of other work, you have your fun, you try to maintain a nice little balance for yourself, and then one day you're like, let me go unlock this memory again. Let me go back, travel back into this dimension again where it was peace, and let me see now if I can transmute into unconditional love. So depending on where you're at with your ability to transmute energies, like it's a skill that you have to hone in sobriety. Like you go from, say, like fear. There's actually an emotional vibrational chart that I will post that we can go based off of, so it's more accurate. But I haven't like memorized any of the hertz frequencies, stuff like that. So I just kind of make them up. But there's a frequency chart. So let's just say for this purpose, fear is at 0 hertz. Again, this has nothing to do with the last video. This is, can you read that? I wrote something down there. I can't see if you can actually read that. Okay, can you read that? I think so. Yeah, okay. So let's say fear is at 0 hertz, peace is at 20 hertz, whatever. And then like joy, bliss is at 100 hertz. Okay. You're going to learn eventually in sobriety how to recognize this, right? We come to emotional awareness, and then we become emotionally intelligent, and we are able to accurately figure out which vibrational frequencies are each one. It's like becoming good at music. It's like being able to discern when you are on A4 versus A5, right? 440 hertz versus 880 hertz, whatever. You can hear the notes in music. I can't do that, but I know that it's a skill that you can learn over time. And hone and develop. So this is the exact same thing. So you are going to eventually learn how to climb the emotional ladder to get to peace from other emotions, fear, resentment, shame, guilt, whatever. And then eventually, once you have the peace, getting to joy and bliss is a lot easier because it's kind of like an exponential vibrational raise. Once you have deep inner peace, like joy and bliss are kind of a byproduct of that. The deeper the peace you go, the higher the bliss you have. Okay, so those are very, very correlated with each other. So when you're doing the healing, right? This is all you're doing. You're looking for the vibrational state. You're looking for the emotional state, and what you need to do is you need to feel through it, and then transmute it. And I'm going to try to make this as like I don't know how to like explain this to people in a way that doesn't make me sound too crazy, but as you're doing the jump, as you're doing the transmutation work, there's going to be an energetic charge that comes off of you, right? You're going to have a lot of it's going to be very emotionally charged, and you're going to have a lot of electricity coming off of you. Okay. It's crazy, but it's true. And you have to learn how to ground yourself. Okay. When people talking about, having a creative outlet, right? A creative outlet is because you have pent up emotions. You have a pent up energy in here, probably swirling around in your head, and that needs to come out of your body. And creativity is a very good way to do that. Art is a good way to do that. Music, dancing, gardening, sewing, whatever. And what it does is it takes all of the crazy stuff and it gets it out of your body. And so that's what we talk about, having emotional a creative outlet or grounding yourself. Okay, this is what meditation is really good for too. But meditation is kind of like a transitional space where you're just come into awareness that you have all these thoughts, and then what eventually happens is you should be taking action to create something new. Okay, that's more of the process. People talk about meditation, it's kind of an incomplete system when they talk about meditation. It's like, oh, you're just not supposed to have thoughts. No, not necessarily. You're just supposed to come into awareness and then realize that it needs to come out of your body. And then you get into a level of peace about things. So just recognize that there's going to be extra charge. The more skilled you are at transmutation, getting from low vibration frequency to high vibration frequency, you're going to learn how to ground this energy a lot better. And for me, my pathway when I have this is it comes from my head, or sometimes the energy will appear wherever it appears, because your trauma is trapped wherever in your body, right? Wherever it exists. So what I like to do is I will I will direct the energy through my body. And it usually, if we're looking at this at the anatomical, this is my left, this is my right, anatomical view. So if the trauma is like in my head or whatever, I will direct it. And this is, again, the skill that you get to develop over time, is that I will run it across my heart this way, and it will ground out my left leg. Okay. That is the path of least resistance for myself. Okay. Sorry, you can't see this, but it says right and left. Okay. So this is my pathway, is across my heart and through my left leg. You will find your individual pathway on how you like to direct the energy, but you just have to come into awareness that it's happening, because this is not stuff that's talked about in mainstream anything. But you do have a pathway to ground the energetic buildup in your body. So meditate, get into alignment, right? Emotional awareness to emotional intelligence, and then we are going to kind of go back through time. We are going to go back through history. We're going to travel through dimensions, and we're going to start recognizing which emotional frequency is associated to which event. The details of each one, like, I love you and I don't mean to offend you, but it doesn't really matter. This is like the details of the event, like that's what you talk about in therapy, but like, and if you want to investigate deeper into like why you are the way that you are, what happened, blah, 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 at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter, because why you are the way that you are currently is going to change eventually into the person that you want to become. So don't ruminate too much about the past. Just get to the emotional frequency and start transmuting it, right? Because the details of the past don't really, like, it's good for storytelling. It's good for your biopic. It's good for your autobiography that you're going to come out in 3 years with. It's good for that compelling storytelling. But if you want to just do the straight like trauma work, inner alignment work, that's all we're doing. We're getting to a place where all of these then turn into unconditional love, pure unconditional love. Doesn't matter what the state is, blah, blah, blah. And the more that we fill these dimensions with unconditional love for ourselves, we start expanding. Okay. And you are participating by giving yourself pure unconditional love for your past. You are then expanding the edges of the universe itself. We all participate in that process of raising the universal consciousness, raising the vibe and the frequency of humanity, and expanding the edges of the universe because love is the most powerful energetic force in the world. So, or in the universe, actually. So keep that in mind. As you build these foundational blocks and you know that you have unconditional love for yourself, your dreams and hopes are what? They're going to come next. We're cinching the time gaps, right? We don't have to ruminate and be in pity party central, or be in sadness, or be in whatever anxiety about the past, because we've done the transmutation work and we're closing the time gaps. Now your dreams and hopes not only are closer, but you're going to build even better dreams and hopes afterwards. You're going to do the craziest shit that you never thought that was possible. A year and a half ago, I had no interest at all about being in the medical field. For my entire life, I did not give a crap about being in the medical field. Now I'm an EMT. I'm studying Spanish, medical Spanish. I've already collected about 150 hours of EMT field work. I'm now looking to go to South America for a week for an immersive emergency medicine Spanish language exchange thing. That's what I'm trying to do in the next 3 months. But I have to renew my passport. That wasn't on my hopes and dreams list. That was not even close. That's over. I'm totally expanded. Everything that I'm doing in my life, I'm up here. I'm just making up shit at this point. And I'm like, can I get away with this? And the answer is, yeah, I can. Okay. So remember, building blocks, right? Building blocks. We're just looking for the energetic emotion We're just looking for the energy, and we're just doing the transmutation work. Sometimes we're not going to be able to do it in one fell swoop. Sometimes it's only going to be like a 1 degree shift upwards, okay? And that's okay. That's okay. That's still work that was required to do. None of this is for loss, okay? So even if you've been going to therapy for like 16 years and nothing has ever clicked and you're like, oh my God, that's the only thing that I've had to do. I didn't have to talk about my Aunt Sally for like 15 years. Yes, exactly. But that all of the talking about Aunt Sally is going to be your book that you're going to write. But yes, you have to get to the root of it. And the root of it is just the emotional frequency, okay? That needs to be transmuted into a higher frequency state, and that's the work. That's as easy as I can make it. Once all of these dimensions of your past are filled with unconditional love, everything aligns in the most beautiful, most magical, most spectacular freaking way you could ever not even figure out for yourself. The universe ushers this in like it's going to be like a Hollywood blockbuster movie, how these things come into your life. It's insane. It's insane. It's magical. It's serendipitous. It's mind-blowing. You are going to have the time of your life, because the more work that you're doing, the more aware you come into the emotional frequencies of life. Like, it's absolutely nuts. Okay. So I hope you got a lot out of this. Keep going. In adulthood, you're going to have to transmute all of these into pure unconditional love for yourself and for others. And then, you're going to have to maybe make an apology. You're going to maybe have to, show up for people in ways that you never have before. And that's just growth. That's just expansion. That's just beautiful maturity, leveling up, universal expansion. Like, that's all that this is. So keep going. You're going to get to your hopes and dreams faster, and then you are going to expand into the highest timeline, the best version of yourself, the most fun version of yourself, the most badass version of yourself that you could ever imagine, and that you couldn't even imagine for yourself too, because the world just opens, and it's so good. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.